crime runs rampant because of the Democrats. And we're going to talk about this crime out of Omaha, Nebraska, just a few short days ago on this episode of the MC Tutol Show. Let's go, let's go.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule cause you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, cause I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast, and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts, and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring, and George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil, chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
What's good, my people? It's your boy in the building, hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground rock and roll hero, South Brooklyn's king of urban culture. We're going to talk about crime running rampant because of the Democrats again, because crime runs rampant because of the Democrats. This out of Omaha, Nebraska, just a few short days ago. Parking lot of what I believe is a Walmart. This deranged 31-year-old woman, Naomi Guzman, abducts a child in a shopping cart, brandishing a knife she shoplifted from the store, threatening to stab the child. And police arrive. They repeatedly tell her to drop the knife, drop the knife, drop the knife. She doesn't drop the knife. Instead, she starts cutting and slashing at the 3-year-old boy. The two cops then open fire and do humanity justice by taking this animalistic creature off the face of the earth. In other words, they filled her full of lead and, neutralized her. Yeah, that's the nice word for it. They neutralized her. And let's see, what the hell was she doing in that parking lot? Well, judges released her repeatedly. They released her repeatedly. Now, I'm not sure if she's an illegal alien or not, but it doesn't matter where the crime comes from. It happens because of the Democrats. Crime runs rampant because of the Democrats, as I always say. And this is a creature from hell. And so many levels of hell where belong the left, and leftists do things like this. Leftists do things like this, and if the person doing things like this has no political persuasion, they are definitely enabled by the left, leftist politicians. Now let me explain. She tried to set her own father ablaze, threw lighter fluid on him, lit a match or lighter or whatever. The father barely escaped with his life. Then she breaks into a church, barricades herself in, and holds the priest hostage. And all these times that she gets arrested, they go with the insanity plea. So if you're insane, you get institutionalized. You're supposed to be in a straitjacket in a rubber room somewhere, writing on padded walls with crayons between your toes. That's how it's supposed to be. But no. She's in the streets of Omaha, Nebraska because of the Democrats. And yeah, the Democrat mayor is clapping his hands and congratulating the police on a job well done. And it is a job well done. But would it have to be if not for members of his own party and his own political affiliation? Yeah, no. The mayor has the authority. This person should have been in jail and isn't in jail because of him and his judges. Governor of Colorado, another sick man. I'm sorry, Nebraska. I'm sorry. So you got some sickos out there in Nebraska as well. If you remember the infamous case of Tina Brandon out in Lincoln, Nebraska, where these two men that thought this woman was a guy all along, and then they raped her when they found out that it wasn't a guy. Now, I don't know. If you know a dude for a long time or whatever, and you find out they got a cooch instead of a rod, do you all of a sudden get a stiff one and try to bang him or her? That when you come to find out it's a her, pretty sick. But anyway, like it's pretty known that Buck Angel doesn't have the same equipment I have, okay? But it's still a person that's big and muscular with a shaved head and a barbell mustache. I ain't looking to bang that. Excuse me. But anyway, these clowns that run the state of Nebraska and the city of Omaha are to blame for what transpired there. Now that kid is traumatized because of this woman. Imagine you're a little kid strapped in a freaking shopping cart. And of course, you're 3 years old. You're not going to know how these things work and how to get yourself out of that situation or whatever. And some wild-haired crazy lady with a knife wheels you out to the parking lot and starts screaming and everything. This woman has such contempt and anger toward this little white kid. And yes, a lot of these attacks in which the victim is white and the culprit is not white are racially motivated. Matter of fact, in more cases, those types of crimes are racially motivated in that scenario than when the scenario is flipped. And that's... I can't say it's a statistical fact because they go out of their way not to record it like that. But if you go case by case and start jotting down your own records of it, you will find that I'm right. And so, these animals that belong in the zoo are out of their cages doing things like this because of the Democrats. And you gotta stop electing Democrats, bro. You gotta stop electing Democrats. They are the problem. Stop with this yeah but Trump business. The worst thing that Donald Trump has ever done as president of the United States is not nearly as bad as what the Democrats boast of the best accomplishments they've done since the last Republican before Trump, George W. Bush, left office. Okay? The Democrats have done nothing since 2009 that's better than even the worst thing we've ever witnessed Donald Trump do as president. What's the worst thing Donald Trump did as president? That recent AI photo, which was actually a share from what some other guy posted months ago on the with the caption pertaining to Trump healing America, which Donald Trump is the great healer of America, and you could see my whole YouTube video on that as well. But who's damaging America? Who keeps wounding America and reopening those wounds over and over and over again? The Democrats. The Democrats. Those creatures from hell. They need to be stopped. And, before it gets to a point where the militias come out of the mountains with their firearms to defend America, why don't you, as a civilized civilian, do it in a civilized manner at the voting booth? And not only vote against these damn Democrats, primary out the spineless Republicans that are working with them. Because you do have those Republicans that are spineless and sickeningly weak that work with these wild animals in Congress. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Like, follow, share, comment, subscribe, stay strong, keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building. MC Too Tall. Don't be gross.